And welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 5th of February, 2025. Jack Willard is my name. You probably know that already. Do I know yours? Tell me if you are a newcomer or if you're one of our family from various parts of the world. Sign in. I think I recognize these names so far. Ted Richards was first. He came in at 9:59 Eastern Standard Time. Tess J came in as well. And yeah, warming up those tubes. I remember that, Ted. Um, we used to have to, when the black and white TV was on the fritz, my dad and I would go down to the drugstore where they had a tube tester. And he would test to see if the tube was bad. Usually there was a gentleman who would come. Uh, Sometimes we didn't test the tube ourselves. He would always say, "It's a bad tube," and he would have a new tube and fix us right up there. So we could continue to watch Jackie Gleason on Saturday nights and Ed Sullivan on Sunday nights, etc., etc. You physically, I know this will shock some people, you physically had to get up and change the channel when you were wanting to see something else. It was channels 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and maybe 13. That was it. That was all she wrote. We didn't have thousands of channels to choose from. I do believe I saw Mr. Todd Bradshaw come in. Hello, Todd. Welcome, welcome. Good evening, and hello, all. Glad you're here. William Brown, downtown William Brown, Bob Joyce's Elvis. He has made a prognostication. He has laid it all out there. He is in the Bob is Elvis camp. I see. What makes you think that, William Brown? Brenda Sutton. That could be a third Brenda. We have a Brenda A and we have a Brenda N, and now we have a Brenda Sutton. But I think we have heard from you before, because it reminded me of Frank Sutton, who played Sergeant Carter on Gomer Pyle USMC. So I think that's where I'm remembering you from, that association. You know, the association, Along Comes Mary, and many other great songs. Got to tell you about that great songs you've never heard thing in a little bit. Remind me if I forget. I watch you often. Well, that's very nice, Brenda. Where do you hang your hat if you ever wear a hat? If I'm wearing a hat, certainly if I'm wearing a wool hat over my ears, it's like 3 degrees. There's that group again, the 3 degrees. When will I see you again? I hope I see you Saturday night would be the next time for Worldwide Ramblings, also at 10 p.m. East Coast time. I'm very grateful that you do, Brenda. Some people I don't know about, they're watching and maybe they don't comment in a pre-recorded video or in the replay. Rob Barber from Ontario. Hey, so you do still have a prime minister, but he's been voted out. Have I got this right, Rob? Because I'm getting a little confused. We're going to do some content because I know people tune in to the replay just for that. Just give me a couple of minutes to say hello and I will do a little content. He's voted out, and the conservative guy is not a definite, and he doesn't like Trump either. Is that how it's going? And but they are capitulating. They are capitulating. There's a word I don't say every day, and they're bringing troops to the border. So you do have some kind of military, right? And we pay for it, right, Rob? I think we might. Chris Starry, hello, all. Hi. April Shaver is here. Hello, hi, April. Making me think of that song by the group Bread. Do you remember that? Was it Pieces of April? Pieces of April? I hope you're all in, you're intact, April. I hope you're not scattered about. Belinda Taylor is here. Howdy, Jack. Welcome. Hey, even M. Silva from the Lone Star State. Yes, yes, yes. She's a busy woman. I got to get to that sirloin stockade with you out there in Austin. Got to make this happen. Boy, it's it's a challenge and a half. Um, I'll tell you more in an email. William Brown, downtown Brown, downtown Brown, right here in Nacogdoches, Texas. How far is that from, say, Round Rock, Texas? Pam Donley, no stick Pam. Hi, Pam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pam is into the hands of Elvis and the hands of Bob Joyce. I think she notices the broken pinky on both hands, right? I guess, I missed the boat in some things. Some things, uh, first of all, I know that a number of people have done it. So I'm always like trying to say something new, and find new information. But I'll show that picture Saturday night that you sent in about that. I didn't take a picture on the phone. And of course, live, you never know. It actually would be better if I do it pre recorded. I got a few phone pictures, and you never know how it's going to go. Sparkle City, South Carolina here. Huh. You probably told me this before, but Sparkle City, how does it get that name? Are there a lot of sparklers sold there? Is it a sparkling area? Tell me. Jody Smith, off work, huh? I knew you'd say that. Evening, Jack, just got off work. Hello. Hello, Texas. Nice to see you, says Todd Bradshaw. He is giving you a tip of his chapeau. His chapeau. David Howard has retracted his message. Well, don't worry. Be happy. Hi, David Howard. I think we've heard from you before. We've certainly heard from a Howard before. Ron Howard or Clint Howard have not called in, and their father, Rance Howard, of course, has been gone for a while now. You know who Ronnie Howard is. That's Opie. That's Richie Cunningham, and that's a famous director who made far more money doing that. Teresa Williams. Hey, Jack and all. Hi, Teresa. Very encouraging. The good old days, yes. When I was young, hold on. When I was young, teenagers knew how to behave. When you start talking like that, you can't help but notice another Brenda. Now we're potentially have four. Brenda Sweeney, and we have heard from you before, like I think last Saturday night, right? Hello, Jack from Virginia. Your governor was at the White House today for the big ceremony. Pam, Jack, it's not the broken pinky. It's the veins in the hands, too. Yeah, okay. All right. I appreciate that. I don't know too much about how many people have. I understand there's varicose veins. Is that how you say it? Some people's veins are more easy to see than others. Um, so you'll have to tell me more about what you think is fascinating about the veins on the hands that you showed me. Greg Hines, hey, Jack. And all from you know where, Alvin, Texas. That's right. A lot of Texas people. Texas J is in Spartanburg, South Carolina, North Carolina. I don't miss how it got that name. Don't know how it got that name, Spartanburg. Yeah. There's a few Spartanburgs out there. Round Rock is about 212 miles from Nacogdoches, really. Okay. What's the great news from Chris Starry? I think I went right past it. I'm seeing him say hello. Oh, Nancy DeMarco's here. Hi, Fancy Nancy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See, I got a yapping, and I missed a few here. Hockey 92. Good evening, Jack. I hope you are well. Hi to the chat group as well. Jane Justice. Good evening, Jack and everyone. Nice weather last couple of days here in Kingsport, Tennessee, 71 yesterday. Yeah, you guys had your cold spell, and I don't know that you're done for the winter, but it's back to what we would be thinking it might be. Whereas here it's 21 degrees and there's snow coming around 5 o'clock in the morning. I was hoping for 40s this week, and I think on Monday achieved that. But ever since then, it's been a little cooler, and I don't know if we'll get our laundry done on Thursday now. Just cleared my 6-month check. God is good, still cancer-free. Oh, there it is. Great. That's great news. Yeah, once I was... Well, once I had my colon resection after they found cancer in my appendix back in 2012, had colon resection in 2013, took 5 feet of my colon out, which they really didn't need to do, as it turns out, but they did it because they had to make sure there had been no spread, and there wasn't. And every month or 3 months, I would go to the oncologist for 5 years. And she would do special cancer blood work, and finally said, "You don't need me. Keep in touch with your regular doctor, have blood work, but you're fine. You're fine." So I never had chemo or anything like that. It stayed contained in the appendix. So that's wonderful news, Christari. Hey, Jack, from you know where? Yeah, Alvin, Tess, Jerry, and let's see, Todd Bradshaw feels the same. It's wonderful news. It really is, Christari. I know how I felt. I thought, like, wow, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Carol Jolly. I got to do a review of The Heretic. Maybe I'll give you a little sneak preview here, and I'll do it as a separate pre-recorded video, which people will then say, "I'm watching the replay." Not really. It's a pre-recorded video. So if you don't see a chat stream to your right, it wasn't live. I think that's a good way to say it. Carol Jolly, you remind me of Linda Jolly, who I think I knew. Didn't I know Linda when I was working at the Christian radio network up in Kingston? That's where I know Linda from, right? 14-station network. I was playing the contemporary Christian music. I'm getting hearts. Maybe you're really Linda Jolly. Do you know Linda? Ulster County. Ted Richards. You young whippersnappers, I mean, really, really. People in my generation knew how to behave. No, they didn't. They just hit it better. See? They just hit it better. The taste of life was sweet as rain upon my tongue. And that was always Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, right, Tess J? That's a one-hit wonder, that guy, no? Summer. No, it's Johnny Rivers. What am I talking about, Tess J? He had many hits, but the poor man got sick. And you know what he got sick with, Tess J. You say it. You write all that out. Yeah, gave you a homework assignment. Let's see here. M. Silva is expecting. Congratulations. The baby is supposed to come on Saturday, apparently. Wow. We're expecting 86 on Saturday, huh? All right. What can I tell you? Sydney Ann Fruithill. Hi, Jack. Listen to you often in Bradenton, Florida. There was a TV preacher that used to come from Bradenton, Florida, back in the, say, 80s, 90s, I think. I liked him. I can't think of who he is. Lori Merrick, and welcome, by the way, Sydney. Wouldn't it be funny if you were from Sydney, Australia? Hello from Canada, Jack. Hope everyone here is well. Hi, Lori Merrick. Welcome. We've been talking about you. You've been in the news a lot. Stephen Pence, Mike's brother is here. Um, and Laura Shadley is here. Yesterday when I was young, I'd feel the bitter taste of life upon my tongue. Am I mixing two verses together? And all the foolish games I used to play. Uh, I'm not going to do lyrics too much because I can get in trouble. Bob Joyce to fess up. Bob Joyce is to fess up. Is that your prediction? Are you a prophet, or do you have second sight, Stephen Pence? Congratulations for 86 degrees. Is that what you're saying, Ted Richards, or did I miss something? I love that song, Tess, yesterday when I was young. Unfortunately, it kind of describes a portion of my life. Sharon Sexton is here, not Buck Sexton, but his wife, Sharon, is here. Hello from Love Lady, Texas. Now, why have I never heard about Love Lady, Texas? And my son delivers for U.S. Foods in Texas, and he's never said, Dad, I'm in Love Lady, Texas. Love me a lady tonight. Everything reminds me of a song, Jackie Organ. Can you play along on your organ as I sing? Hi, Jack and everyone. It's hot here. Oh, give me a break. It's hot here, and I got 21 degrees where I live in Aussie land with the with the uh, shrimp on the Barbies. Shrimp. What the heck is a Barbie? It's a grill, right? It's just like a regular grill, like a George Foreman grill. Well, George Foreman is not as big as. Does he have a stand-up grill, George Foreman? I think he probably does, but I always associate the George Foreman grill is smaller, like almost like tabletop. So that would set your table on fire. So maybe I'm wrong about that. The grass is getting green here. The green grass of home. Going to be 75 in Tupelo, Mississippi. Tamara. There's a Tupelo, Los Angeles, Tupelo Lake, something like that. I know Catherine Lee Scott from Dark Shadows was there on her birthday, her 82nd birthday recently. Hi, Paula. Hey, Paula. Paula Weiss from Weiss Supermarkets. Everything reminds me of something. Everything does. Almost everything. I don't know if I can come up with something for Dennis Heron or Heron. Yeah, in terms of expecting, Ted says Tess is expecting 86 degrees, and she'll probably get it. Dennis Heron. Hi, Jack. My name is Dennis from Kokomo, Indiana. Not the Kokomo that the Beach Boys sang about then, is it? I believe Bob Joyce and Elvis Presley are one, in caps, one in the same. So let me do some content for the replay crowd because I'm going to lose them if I don't. I do want to correct something. I want to clarify, not correct, something I said in a recent video. Yeah, a recent video. Got to find out where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, there. 10 days ago, we did a live, I think a worldwide ramblings. Didn't I look thin then? Wearing my black and checkered shirt. You can find all our live videos in the live section of this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. The title of the live show, I titled it Elvis and Bob Joyce, Same Grandmother, question mark. And then I put no exclamation point. That was not really what I meant, and I took that no away. What I meant is that there's no way that Minnie May, Hood Presley visited Bob Joyce at the Household of Faith because she died in 1980. That's what I really meant to say. I wasn't saying people say that there's pictures of Bob Joyce's house and you see the same picture that you see in Elvis Presley's house, which I think was called Graceland, right? I don't know if Pastor Bob has a name for uh, his home, but I've heard that it's Graceland too. That's just a rumor. I don't know. So in that video, which has 2,400 views, I talked about that, and someone pointed out that Minnie May passed away. That rhymes. I'm a poet and don't even know it. So that was the point. That was the point that I was bringing forth there. Let me go back to the live stream. You never know when you go to the phone what you're gonna get. Life is like a box of chocolates used to be. You never used to know what you're gonna get. Now you know. They write it all out. You know how to stay away from those yicky coffee candies. What's this thing about mushroom coffee? Have you had it? Have you had it? Do you have it in your pantry? I don't know. I want to know about mushroom coffee, somebody. How can you call it coffee if there's no coffee beans? Just like licorice. If it's not black, it's not licorice. You can't have peppermint licorice. It's a peppermint candy. There's something going on here. People try to get away with stuff just to capitalize. I want to know about mushroom coffee. Anybody know? So, yeah, okay, not too bad. I can't really get a grandma with Elvis that's not whited out, but you've seen this before. And they think that lady is Minnie May visiting Pastor Bob Joyce, a household of faith. Obviously, it could be photoshopped. I'd like to get a... There we go. There we go. That can't be. She died in 1980. She has not been to Household of Faith. Minnie May, that's Vernon's mother, Vernon Presley's mother. She is buried in the Meditation Garden at Graceland. So I'm not really taking a stand on whether or not they are both Elvis and Bob Joyce have the same grandmother. But if you put a gun to my head and said, make a choice, why do I put myself in a position like that? I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. Possibilities, 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 Laura Shadley. I have to get to sleep. You all have a great night. Thank you, M. Silva, for stopping by. Hopefully we will get to meet. I'm trying to make it happen. Stephen Pence could be, Jody. I'm on the fence. I'm just impatient. Or are you an impatient? Are you calling us from the land of the locked doors? No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're here, Stephen. Where'd you say you were from? I forget already. See, it's a short-term memory. If I had met you in 1965, I'd remember. I don't see it as fessing. I see it as more as what is coming is omission. Oh, sins of omission. Well, I'm certainly sure I've been guilty of sins of omission a million times, aren't we all? Aren't we all? I will talk about The Heretic a little bit tonight, everybody, because I saw it 3 times. I rented it for 48 hours. And after the first time, I said, I want to see it again. And after the second time, I said, let me get my money's worth, my $5.99. Let me see The Heretic one more time. For now, let me just say, don't tune out now. For now, it shocked the heck out of me. It wasn't what I was expecting. Oh, dear. I don't rent a movie to have a crisis of faith happen in my life. Let's see. A grill, flashlights, or torches. The Barbie is a grill with flashlights and torches. What? Are these tiki torches? If I've missed anything, it's because I was doing a little content and I got a little more to do here. Kokomo, huh? And you got no beach? You got a beach there, Dennis? Is that E there? Yeah. Her Heron, Dennis, do you have a beach in Kokomo, Indiana? I think that's what you're saying. You are in Kokomo, Indiana. Do you have sun and sand there? Nancy DeMarco commenting on the great news that Christari is cancer free. Yes, see, we're a family here. We're a family here. I'm so excited. Deborah Lake, went into remission as well. I've got pictures on my phone from Deborah, paintings that she has done. I'd rather do it in a pre-recorded video because, eventually I'm going to run into something that's, and then they say, we can't see what you're holding up. Pastor Bob said in the sermon that he didn't want anything to take the focus off of Jesus, even a name, paraphrasing. I saw him, I think you're referring, well, he kind of indicated that when he was at the Horner Hall Theater with the baptisms and what have you, right? He kind of indicated that there, you don't need Paul, you don't need Cyrus, you don't need Bob Joyce, and you don't need Elvis. Before that, he had said in the same sermon, stop looking towards a man. Stop looking to man. And then he said what he said. And he said it really strong. And he gave them that look. And then he turned around and went back to the pulpit. Everybody was cheering because they knew what he was trying to say, Understand what my mission is. My mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. So that's who you need. You don't need me. You don't need me. Tess J is now cold. Maybe a poltergeist has entered her home. Oh dear. There's a poltergeist that has brought her temperature down 25 degrees. Teresa Pinnell. If there's a way to mispronounce it, Teresa, I will. We have two Teresas here then. Yes, that is what he said in Hot Springs, right? And people jumpers, and people jump to their feet. I wasn't sure what you were saying there. People jumped to their feet and started clapping. I was one of them. Well, you had a special experience there, didn't you? Didn't you? Wonderful. You say my last name right the second time, which is Heron, right? I think the first time I said Haran. Haran. I'm so silly, Tess, and I don't even know what you're referring to. The brr was in response to 5 inches of snow in Maine, huh? So the snow in Maine falls mostly on your roof. It doesn't rhyme as well as the movie, right? The rain in Spain lies mainly on the plain. I think he's got it. I think she's got it. That was what it really was. Alex, another Aussie. Good day, Alex. And everyone, welcome to you. We have 94 watching right now. That's good on a Wednesday night. I think 10 o'clock is just the time. 7 o'clock is not. People are just too busy doing this, that, and the other thing. And God knows what time, Alex, when it's 7 p.m. here, what time is it in Australia? Pull out your calculator. Teresa says, pronunciation panel? Really? You're like a solar panel? Cool. Okay. Yes, it was a wonderful something the service was wonderful. Yeah, we could tell that much. Now he's coming to an arena. We gotta tell you all about that if you haven't heard. The Ozark or the OZK Arena, the 17th of August, 2025, was all part of the big George Magazine Live event number 2. Experience my granddoll and I both were baptized that day. Really, I know there's no mention of the baptism, and I think with his age being what it is, the idea of him doing 200 probably this year 200 baptisms, I don't know. Where is Maine? Says Sue A. It's a magical place, Sue. I can tell you that. You'll feel closer to God. It's worth a trip if you can make it. It's about 5.5 hours from the Hudson Valley here in New York. And it depends what part of Maine you're in. You can be right near the Canadian border. That's where it's really cold. Or, places like Calais or Calais or Eastport. Yeah, Eastport. Kind of a cool place, but everybody's kind of deserted it. There was a friendly restaurant between Calais or Calais and Eastport that my second wife and I used to go to every time we were up in that area. And it wasn't anything to do with Friendly's, the restaurant that is now defunct, I think. They all gone now, the Friendly restaurants, but oh, what a good restaurant. Oh, the fish and chips, the cod, and then homemade chocolate cream pie and all the other kind of homemade pies. It was delightful. It was delightful. You make a good chocolate cream pie, it's got to be cooked. Chocolate pudding now. Don't be giving me no instant stuff. And Cool Whip on top. Well, Cool Whip's all right though. I'm not. I use it when I make my cooked chocolate pudding from Jello. They make a great chocolate pudding. Make sure you don't get confused and end up with instant. They confused me. Oh, I thought, oh, look at this. Jello's smart. They're now putting the cooked chocolate pudding. I'm looking at it in a purple box. So now you won't confuse it with the other one. No, they made everything purple. So here I am. I've got my chocolate pudding on the stove, and then I see it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and then it hits me. I go to the garbage and I look at the box, and I've got instant chocolate pudding on my stove. It was a real letdown. I still ate it that way, and it wasn't bad, but it doesn't coagulate properly, and there's nothing like the flavor of chocolate pudding that you put on the stove. Tammy didn't hear about Princess Di. Oh, goodness. I'm going to miss some stuff here. I have friends in Maine. I'm from Rhode Island. Yes, Sue. Well, I was there a few years ago in Newport in September, I guess 2023. 2023. Yeah, we were there in September. We had to see the Dark Shadows mansion. Why can I never remember the real name of that mansion when I come on here live? But if I were somewhere else, I'd remember the name of the mansion. What the heck is it called? But anyway, it's right by the water. It's right by the water, and it was used for exterior shots in Dark Shadows. It was the logo mansion that they were supposed to live in. It's still there. So there we were outside the fence taking pictures and stuff. Somebody was watching TV on the second floor of Collinwood. Jane Justice been to Maine several times, went to Nova Scotia from Calais or Calais. Yeah, there was a Jimmy Sturr cruise a few years back, maybe 2019, 2018, where you got on in New York City and they went to Maine and then on to Nova Scotia, places like that. Missed that one too. Dear. Anyway, so that's a story about Minnie May, to be clear about that. Now, there's a Dr. Donald Hinton from years back who claimed that he had treated Elvis Presley for 5 years after 1977 when he reportedly died. Where's my volume control? Brad is sleeping, so hope I don't wake him up. This is just a short little clip of Dr. Hinton. It's just audio. Check it out. Okay.
Dr. Donald Hinton disclosed that he treated Elvis for 5 years after his supposed passing.
Is Elvis Presley alive? Absolutely. I would testify in a court of law.
Graceland allowed public viewing of Elvis's body before the funeral, and attendees noted his remarkably youthful appearance. Many said he looked identical to a wax figure.
Yeah, this is stuff we've been saying now since 2018, although not Dr. Hinton. That's something I have not covered before. Other creators have covered it. There is a video you can find here on YouTube called "This Man is Elvis Presley," and in parentheses, Bob Joyce. So check that out. That was just an excerpt, a fair use excerpt from that video, but there's a lot more if you actually watch it. Okay. So, yeah, I am not a believer that Elvis Presley died in August of 1977, as we said and have said before, and we show in our latest part of the top 50 reasons Bob Joyce may be Elvis. We have Gene Smith. We roll in video, both of Pastor Bob and before that of Gene Smith, cousin Gene Smith, saying that he looked at the body in the coffin and it just didn't look like Elvis Presley. In fact, the sideburn that had been glued on was coming off. So yeah. So I of course read the Gail Brewer Giorgio book, the Phil Aitchison report, and with all these clues and what have you, I have a firm conviction that Elvis Presley did not die on the day I arrived in Dunkirk, New York, Western New York, to begin my radio career, August 17th, 1977. That was the day I arrived in Dunkirk, and someone had a transistor radio on the bus as we were riding up. I didn't have a car then. I'd had a car previously, but I didn't have a car when I was in Fredonia, New York, unfortunately. So that's how I found out that Elvis had allegedly passed away. That's how I found out. I'm going to talk about the heretic in a little bit, just a little bit. Shelley is here, and apparently Aisha is too, under the name Jackie Onassis, I believe. Jackie Onassis. Where is Miss Onassis? I'm not even going to search, whatever. Where in Canada are you, Shelley, says Tess J. She doesn't want to give her exact location because she's in the Witness Protection Program. Christari Pastor Bob does have a book that he is writing. Well, people say that. How long is it going to take to write this book? I mean, Bill O'Reilly would pump one out every 3 months, for goodness sakes. Does he have a ghostwriter sometimes? I don't know. I would not be surprised if he has help. It's like with James Patterson. He's always got a co-author. So when do you know you're reading James Patterson if there's a co-author? How do I know James Patterson is brilliant when I'm impressed by something? If it's not clear, it could be the co-writer. So I never liked that. Kim Lackey, who's not a lackey. Hello, Jack and friends. Hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tess is from Australia. Yeah. Sue says, didn't she live around Ocean Drive in Newport, Rhode Island, Jack? Didn't she live? Who's she? In Ocean Drive in Newport? The big mansion that we call Collinwood. Collinwood was really at the corner of 53rd and 8th in Manhattan. That's where they filmed the show. But the exterior shots were done up there in Rhode Island. And then the cottage for Sam Evans and Maggie Evans was Essex, Connecticut. So the cast had to go to Essex, Connecticut in the 60s and film exterior shots there of them driving up in cars and going into what was supposed to be the Collinsport Inn, but it is really the Griswold Inn, our oldest restaurant, they say. What was it, 18, whatever. Karen and I went there last September, and we had lunch at the Griswold Inn. And you can stay there. It's not cheap, but you can stay there. It still looks great. And very nice restaurant and bar, etc., etc. So we just viewed the mansion from the outside. I can't say that, Dennis, about him being the best preacher I've ever heard, because I've heard so many great ones, you know. What Pastor Bob does is he's an encourager. He's like he's got some Pentecostal in him. Um, he's not a verse by verse preacher by any means. Some pastors feel very strongly that that's the only way, not topical sermons. He's more of a topical sermon. He basically has a title and he works around it, you know. Um, teacher, would I call him a teacher? No, not really. But then again, he teaches sometimes, you know what I mean? But gee, there's been some really Jack Hayford and Derek Prince and Charles Stanley and many, many others that, you know, I would say are at a higher level in terms of teaching the Word of God. Pastor Bob, more than anything, is an encourager. Let's see. A lot of movies filmed in Newport, Rhode Island. Yeah, we were right there where they have all the mansions, you know. It's not just the one. Jay Leno just bought a home there with his wife. Unfortunately, she has dementia now, so he's dealing with that. He spent a lot of money to buy that mansion in Newport, but he still does his live gigs and has had a series of catastrophes happen to him. Some people thought it was over gambling debts, his last of facial injuries, but I doubt that's true. For all the years he filmed The Tonight Show, he never cashed a check. He may have started to do that now, but he was worth, I think, my goodness, many, many millions of dollars. I don't want to give the wrong figure. Jody, I think Tanya Tucker told Vernon that that's not Elvis. Yeah, I say that in the video, the verdict here. That comes from the Phil Aitchison report. Where's Elvis? And she said, and he said, oh, he's upstairs. We had to show the fans something. We had to show the fans something. And then a green, not black, but a green military helicopter a couple of days after the funeral picked up, allegedly, possibly, Elvis, and took him to the airport where there was a private plane that would take him out of the country for a number of months while he got well in mind, body, and spirit. He was very sick, very addicted to injectable legal pain medication. So please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button and the notification bell. Sometimes we pop on out of the blue. This is not that. This is an Elvis Bob Joyce chat. So anything you want to talk about Elvis or Pastor Bob Joyce, feel free. And you'll see a thanks button there as well. If you can hit that for any amount, that would be very helpful as we work on the month of March now. February was the lowest since, speaking of March 2024. The Cash App helped out, though, certainly did. But we were still under, so it's stress time. My Cash App handle, if you have Cash App for any amount, is lowercase letters Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 564. Cash App, any amount helps us out to make the goal here. And I waited till about 44 minutes in or 43 minutes in to say anything about that. So appreciate those who will do that. Favorite thing I heard him say, Tess J, was instead of giving you a piece of my mind, I'd rather give you a piece of my heart. Made me cry. Yes. Yeah. Made me think of that Janis Joplin song. You know, I never liked Janis Joplin. I just Jimi Hendrix, yeah, not my cup of tea. I don't deny the talent in either one, but I enjoyed Bette Midler in The Rose, who was kind of portraying Janis Joplin. I enjoyed her more than I enjoyed Janis Joplin ever, except Lord won't they buy me a Mercedes Benz. My friends all have Porsches. I must make amends. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Uh, 100. Hey, 100 watching. Let us know who you are. Name, rank, and serial number. Where are you watching us from? Live on this Wednesday night, a Elvis/Bob Joyce chat, but of course, we're free to talk about other things. Meatloaf night, which does not mean you were kept playing Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, right? It means you had a meatloaf, which some people know how to make it and some people don't. You got to put some bread in there. You got to put the right kind of spices, and you got to have brown gravy, I would say. Ketchup is good on cold meatloaf. Cold meatloaf sandwich. The last time I had one was probably in the 70s, but still. Hi, Tammy. Tammy's Antiques. Why did they have to say that Elvis died on the toilet? People knew that he did have problems with bowel obstruction. That, when you take that kind of injectable medication, it binds you up and stuff like that. I don't know, but we talked about that in the verdict and in the top 50 reasons why Bob Joyce may be Elvis. Look at part 1, for example. So we have talked about how they found someone had passed away with no family and what have you. He would have ended up in Pottersfield or whatever. And since the government was involved, after all, Elvis was a federal agent, knighted by President Nixon himself, and he also had credentials from the Memphis Police Department. You could say they're all honorary, but maybe not so much. Anyway, they would be more than happy to help Elvis. He may not have had to technically go into the witness protection program, but we've talked about the reasons he did, but certainly paramount is he felt like a prisoner at Graceland, and he needed medical attention. He was very overweight, and he was near death, I believe. I think they got to him in time, though. So meatloaf, you got to have mashed taters. Don't give me no rice with meatloaf or a baked potato even. Baked potato is for sirloin steak or prime rib, that kind of thing. That was one of the things I used to enjoy at Wendy's. I haven't had one in years. I think they stopped putting broccoli on their potato at Wendy's. Did they? Broccoli and cheese potato. But then I'd always have a potato left and I'd be out of cheese and I'd want to put a little butter on there, Sometimes I like a little potato with my butter. Jeannie C. Riley was another one who outed Elvis from the stage, saying she knows people who talk to him all the time. Now, what's this Linda Thompson? People are saying that Chewy Thompson is Linda's son. Can we verify that? That Linda Thompson is the mother of Chewy Thompson, grandson of Elvis? No, it would be his son, right? What are we talking about here? Not a grandson, it'd be his son. If he got Linda Thompson pregnant and she had a child, that would be Elvis's son. Fish night. Oh, yeah, says Shelley. I'll have the cod or the haddock. Either one is just fine with me. Don't get chintzy on me now and start giving me that cheap stuff. I don't know where they've been. Janis was a sad soul. Yeah. Addicted early, died early. But songs like Me and Bobby McGee and Piece of My Heart, and they just never did it for me. They would grate on me when I had to play them during my radio show. I would play them, of course, but I never enjoyed one. Same for Jimi Hendrix, except for his wonderful instrumental version of the Star Spangled Banner. Huh. I thought your birthday was the 6th, Brenda. Okay, the 7th. My big 64. Cool. We actually sang happy birthday on Saturday night. She's been billboarding this, I think, now since mid-October. I'm not sure. Tulsa here, Jill. Hi, Tulsa, Jill. How are you? How's things going with you? Nice to have you aboard. Jill knows all about Tulsa. She does. She worked in the music field in Tulsa, I believe. That's where you had to deal with all those agents, right? It was haddock fish tonight. Yummy, yummy, yummy. It's good for you, too. Teresa Williams, in one of Pastor Bob's sermons, he talked about he was very sick for about 4 or 5 years and felt like he was going to die, and he wanted to. He said God healed him. Interesting. I don't know how to tie that in, but that is interesting. There is a connection somehow with Chewy. Maybe a grandson had a child with Elvis. Then they had Chewy and kept the Thompson name, says Sue A. I'm not even going to try to figure that out. I'll just take your word for it as a possibility. No, I'm just saying Thompson is funny because, we all know Linda Thompson was the last girlfriend for Elvis Presley. And look at this, Hockey 92, I like to call him, who has hit the thanks button before. That's why I'm thrilled when new people hit it, but I'm so thankful to people like Hockey 92 that have hit it many times. Thanks for being you. In fact, I think last Thursday you did that, and probably Saturday too. So thank you very much for hitting the thanks button for 1999. Very much needed, very much appreciated. Because of an oversaturation with the topic with other creators, it's harder for everybody now. And I don't take Household of Faith material and just play it with my name on it. I don't do that. You're very fortunate to be able to do that. Excerpts, fair use excerpts are another story, but you do have to be careful. Yeah, if you get addicted to high views and then you start doing something every day, every other day, what have you, eventually you burn the topic out. New things happen all the time, though. New things happen all the time. Thank you, Hockey 92, for hitting the thanks button. You'll find that right here at the bottom of your screen for any amount. Never say, I can only give $2 and that's not going to help. It will, because maybe other people will do it as well. My buddy Marty Greco has hit it for 99 cents. 99 cents. So I heard from Marty. I guess it was in a it was in the comment section of one of our videos. Let me see here. I think it's in the promo that I just did. So let me go to pre-recorded videos. The promo for this show, Elvis Bob Joyce chat live 25/25, 10 p.m. And here we are. Let's go to the comments section. It was that we could physically. Who is that man talking? Sounds familiar to me. Marlene commented, She talks about the thumbnail picture that we used for the promo earlier today, 2/5. Bob Joyce Elvis Chat Live, 10 p.m. Eastern. She says the pictures side by side tell it all. Jeanette Fair was there. She said she loves Israel because I did some political talk after we promoted the show, talking about all the craziness that's been happening, right? So watch that. There's content besides just promoting this show in that video. Thank you on the news update, says Susan Sapiati. Glenda Harnack. You go, Jack. You nailed it. Thank you very much. Regina Terwilliger. Thank God we have a president. Amen, Regina. Amen. It's so comforting to see him surrounded by the children today. He had just signed the executive order to protect women's sports, to protect female sports of all ages, so that these women that try to they work night and day to hone their craft. Maybe their goal is the Olympics, or maybe it's just locally. They want to excel, and then some guy who couldn't make it in male sports, transgenders. He says he's transgendering, and I don't know how far he's gone in that process. Did he go all the way like Bruce Jenner? I don't know. But anyway, this is nonsense. There are two sexes, male and female. We're fine with people calling themselves transgender, but you can't be a biological male ruining female sports, or a biological female ruining men's sports. It would be most likely to happen the other way, though. It's just like when women go into the men's room, say the ladies' room in some, theme park, or it happened at the Renaissance Fair here in Tuxedo. I witnessed this. The line for the ladies' room was like 15 deep. They call it in the Renaissance Fair, they refer to them as the Flushing Privies. The Flushing Privies, because some of these places just have an outhouse, but the Flushing Privies at the Ren Fair. And so there was like 15 women. So the women just started walking into the men's room, passing the urinals, which had a side view so they could glance over if they wanted to. And if you turn that around, the women would scream bloody murder. The cops would come. They'd handcuff the guy who just walked. This is back then, maybe only 6-7 years ago. They'd handcuff the guy who thought he could use the ladies' room and carry him to the squad car. The difference is there, but men don't care at all. They don't care at all. We are different. We are different. How we view things, etc., etc. I could make some jokes here, but I won't. So also we heard from Thomas Philippi. Maybe I never pronounced that right, Thomas. Marty Greco. Okay. Hi, Jack. Finally went to the doctor. Oh, he took too long, and was diagnosed with influenza A, bronchitis, and pneumonia. I have meds now, so maybe I will get better soon. I sure hope so. Let's pray for Marty Greco, everybody. Hope to see you tonight. Thank you, everyone, for the prayers. And I responded to him there. Lori Merrick came in from Canada, and she's with us tonight. Katina Swatsworth said she would try and stop by. Debbie Inglis said she'd be sleeping, but would catch the replay. I think she's in the UK. Linda is also in Europe. She's the one who calls everybody pedal love, not muskrat love, but pedal love. Hello from Regina Terwilliger says, just home from the dentist, tooth pulled due to damage from shingles in my mouth. In your mouth? I never heard of that before. That's got to be painful. Test J 777. That's That's the Selena M amount. God's perfect number of completion, 777. Thank you very much. God bless you, Jack. God bless you, Tess J. Thank you so very much. You and my buddy Hockey 92. It sounds like a radio station almost. Thank you, Tess and Hockey 92. Any amount is fine. Don't feel that if you only can give $2, that's fine too. Rick K. Hey, happy hump day, Jack. That's right. We used to say that on the radio, my radio shows. Hump day used to be Prince Spaghetti Day, that kind of thing. That was a commercial that was aired. Do they even have Prince Spaghetti anymore? Do they have Mullers anymore? I think so, but it's not as big as it used to be. How you doing there, Rick K? Sounds like a DJ name. Thanks again, Tess. We're climbing up the ladder because you never know how many total views this is going to get, and that's important too. And we've been in a downward spiral somewhat. Isn't it funny that the next time I get a payment from Google, what am I in? I'm in February. Well, what we're working on now, let me put it that way. What we are working on now, just for enough for a budget, because I live on a fixed income and my pension got smaller not too long ago, which really, was like someone threw a rock in the spokes of my bicycle. Anyway, that I like that question, Shelley. What we're working on now would actually be received by Google YouTube on my 69th birthday. My 69th birthday, March 21st, of course, 2025. Jane Justice says, I was diagnosed in April 2012 with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Boy, I've heard that. People suffering from that and never had any kind of treatment. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus. Wow. That's amazing. I'd like to hear more about that in an email, Jane, or here if you want. JackTheFairGuy@gmail.com. God is good, Jane. Amen, amen, amen. And, God uses doctors and treatment as well. But that's wonderful. I'd like to know what drove you to that decision, because that's a radical decision. I mean, I know people. I remember Pastor Bob, Brother Bob, we call him Brother Bob Wesson. He was Wesson, yeah, Western. From Jamaica. Well, he came over to live here in the United States, and he went to the very church that I was going to at that time. He became an elder, Pastor Bob, and he would preach in other churches too, because after a while, he wanted to go back to Jamaica as a mission, and he would be gone for like the whole summer or what have you. And the church would support him. It was a small church, but it was a missionary church, Howell's Church. It amazes me. There are some really big churches with pastors making over $100K a year, and they don't even have missionaries that they support that I know of. That's always weird. Woohoo! Praise the Lord, Jane Justice says. Christaria, yeah, another cancer survivor. I am too. No, you're not. Christaria is not Aisha. I'm not Lisa. My name is Julie. You're nobody called. Again last night. She hung up when I answered the phone. You remember that song, which I'm butchering? Ted, I pray everyone's night. I pray everyone have a good night, I guess. I don't even know. Brenda. What? um, yeah, that's the way that goes, Shelley. Whatever, nobody's saying anything bad, so that's good. Everybody's, getting along. Um, yeah, Brenda's from Detroit. My flu bug lasted 2 weeks. Yikes. Yeah. Don't think I've had the flu. I get bronchitis. That's what I usually get. Let me see here. Inbox. Oh dear. Look at that now. Nancy DeMarco hit the Cash App, Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56. Fancy Nancy hit the Cash App for 777. I like that. The last time I was visiting a church, I gave 1777 at the church for the offering. I remember that. And Todd Bradshaw, oh God, goodness, Todd, hit the Cash App for $20 for Meatloaf concert T-shirt fund. Yeah. Well, surely, don't call me Shirley, Todd. Surely, Meatloaf merchandise, meatloaf or meat life, if you want to turn it into an insurance company. Meatloaf, he would have 3 X's. He would have 4 X's, wouldn't he? Yeah, he would. He would have. Rest in peace, Meatloaf. He did a Ghost Hunters episode one or two before he departed this earth. He liked the Ghost Toasties. The difference between Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures is on Ghost Hunters, they don't really find too much, do they? It's a lot of audio, and some of it happens off camera. Did you hear that? We didn't catch it on film, but Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventures, they find a lot of stuff. There's something going on there. People caught between two worlds. What do you think about that? Some would say it's anti-Christian. It's anti-Christian to think there could be any validity to that, but I'm not sure that's true. I got to talk about the heretic. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw, for $20 on the Cash App. Thank you, Nancy DeMarco, for 777. I love that number. I also love the 20, to be honest with you. Thank you, Todd, very, very much. And thank you, Nancy DeMarco. Other than that, we didn't get a lot of questions or anything in the email. If you find something in a group, because remember, I don't belong to those Yahoo, Elvis, Bob Joyce groups. If you find something that you think I might find interesting, please send it to me in my email, jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. All right. And back to the live stream. So, all right, The Heretic, starring one of the biggest movie stars of all times. If you consider the fact that his gross from various films is like $1.5 billion. I'm talking about his films have made over $1.5 billion. Now, Notting Hill, his biggest movie, I think. Notting Hill, although he came out of the gate strong, he got fortunate, but Notting Hill is probably close to $500 million right there. It's just a phenomenal film that Hugh says he doesn't like all his films, and he's very critical of himself, but he says that he was fairly pleased with Notting Hill and working with Julia Roberts and the other members of the cast, like the guy who plays his flatmate. I wish I could call his name out. They were all just wonderful. In fact, the whole cast was wonderful. I don't know how many times I've seen Notting Hill, but it would have to be at least 30, 40 times at least. And the one he did with Sandra Bullock was terrific. He says that maybe that's his favorite, working with Sandra Bullock, that she's a genius. Drew Barrymore didn't really click that well with her. She would write him notes and stuff like that. And he was explaining this on a British television show. You know the one. What's his name? Can't think of it at the moment. The British talk show. You see all the clips here on YouTube. But he was talking, and Meryl Streep herself was on the panel at the same time. He said, um, he said to, what's his name, the interviewer, the British interviewer, he said, yeah, she wrote me notes all the time and what have you, indicating that they never really clicked, but they were able to get through it. And I love the movie Music and Lyrics. That's the movie we're talking about, Music and Lyrics. And Meryl Streep piped up and said, I didn't like it when we worked together and you did that to me. Oh dear, Meryl Streep just got so disappointed that Kamala Harris didn't get to destroy America. She never will get that chance. I think the voters have spoke loud, and I'm not sure if even California would go for that. I hope not. California, pick somebody good for once, will you? I think it's been a long time. Think about Moonbeam Jerry Brown, too. You got a bad history, California, of picking your leaders. There's a few conservatives in the conservative part of California, but for the most part, you're picking. You just elected Adam Schiff to be your senator. What in the heck is going on? What's going on? What's going on? The heretic. Okay. Finally, it got down to the $5.99 level to rent it for 48 hours on Prime Video. It started out as $19.99 rental, $24.99 to buy. Then they took the buy away altogether, and you could rent it for $5.99. Well, I said, I got to see that, and did this past weekend, and I ended up watching it 3 times. It is one of the most powerful performances that I've ever seen Hugh Grant give. He does serious stuff from time to time. This is not a funny one. This is not the zany British guy who's kind of confused. No, it's not that at all. He plays a serious role, inviting these 2 women missionaries in. He says that he has a wife that's baking blueberry pie. That may be a lie. I'm not going to give too much of the movie away, but it quickly turns into kind of a horror film with no sexuality involved. Not really, no sexuality involved, but he knows his stuff, and he has some really strong dialogue in there that could make you feel uncomfortable about the various faiths, including Christianity and what have you. And but then at the end they kind of save it so that you don't walk away saying, oh, that was just anti-God film. They kind of save it. And I won't tell you how they do that, but it's well worth seeing, but it is disturbing. It is disturbing. Be prepared for that. And wonderful acting from the 2 young ladies that play the Mormon missionaries. It's all shot in like what's supposed to be a house. So there's a little exterior stuff of another Mormon missionary who's trying to find them. But it really kind of, whoa, it did affect me. It did affect me, and got me to thinking. They gave Hugh Grant some really powerful dialogue. He says, I'm drawn to the nasty. Every once in a while, I got to do something that people aren't expecting me to do. And because he played a ruthless killer of his wife in that HBO series, remember, with Nicole Kidman? I mean, Hugh Grant, Nicole Kidman, that's a must-see. That's must-see, movie, TV, whatever for me. When those 2 are together, 2 of my very favorites. People say Nicole Kidman does the same role over and over. I don't think so. I don't think so. And if she does, that's what they said about Hugh Grant too. Then he said, I'm going to change it up. He played a gay guy in some movie, and I don't know. I saw some of it. I don't think I saw all of it. And in this movie, he's definitely not your bumbling British guy. He's not. So if you want to see a really good movie and you can handle, questions about faith and what have you, the heretic, or I should just say heretic, he should definitely get nominated for this. If he doesn't, it's like Jim Carrey could never even get nominated because he was known for comedy. Yet The Majestic and the number 23 with Jim Carrey are certainly not comedies. The Majestic was just wonderful. If you haven't seen The Majestic with Jim Carrey, watch it. And have you seen his daughter, Heather Shaw, showing up on Reels on Facebook? She does something really humorous in videos with her mother. She says, "Hey, Mom, in the 90s, did you blank Jim Carrey?" She looks very much like her father, very much like him. Do you rock around the Christmas tree usually, Brenda? Well, we've got more than one Brenda here. What's a really good series that you're telling Todd Bradshaw about, Test J? Let's see. My husband and I watched Old Man, and it is excellent. Where did you find that, and who's in it there at Test J? And how are you, Gregory Hines? I can't text fast, so I make it short. That's a good example. SHO. I got you. Glad you're here, Greg Hines. What happened to Jim Carrey? He really changed. Well, he changed, and then he kind of went back to the point where you think that maybe for a while he was just pretending to be losing his mind, or maybe he got on medication or what have you. I don't know. Yeah, for a while he lost weight and what have you. And the short hair, it might have been for a movie, I don't know. And then he announced with longer hair, he looked more like Jim Carrey. That I don't know if you've ever heard a movie star say this, but I have enough. I feel I've done enough. Of course, he didn't get rewarded with the awards, but obviously fans adore him. He might do The Grinch again. There's talk about him doing The Grinch again. Anyway, after this big speech about he's had enough unless something amazing comes my way that I just couldn't turn down, I think I'm done. I have enough. And then it wasn't too long in this retirement, and he's back. He's in Sonic, right? The new Sonic movie. They paid him $20 million to do it. He said, well, I decided to come back into this realm. He talks very Eastern sometimes, and he looked good. He had the hair grown again, and he looked like the Jim Carrey we're expecting him to look like, And he said, well, I bought a lot of stuff. So I come back in this realm for a while, When you have the earning potential of Jim Carrey, it's really hard to be permanently retired when they offer you $20 million to do something like they will for The Grinch 2, if he does it, which is hell because of the makeup. It's absolute hell. He had to keep telling himself when he did The Grinch, I'm doing this for the kids. And that's how we got through it. The director actually dressed up as the Grinch towards the end of the movie to get Jim to get through the end of the movie because he was really struggling. So he would get to experience what Jim was experiencing, almost like can't even breathe, Speaking of breath, I love old school rap before it went gangsta. What would be an example of old school rap before it went gangsta? Dark. Yeah, I mean, Ice-T in the beginning was talking about B's and W's, wasn't he? I remember, oh, look at this now. You always sneak up on me because I don't know you're here. And you usually introduce yourself, it seems, by hitting the thanks button. And I thank you so much for that, Marge. Not Large Marge. She was in the Brady Bunch movie, right? Is that the movie with Large Marge, the truck driver who was a ghost? No, it wasn't the Brady Bunch movie, was it? What movie was Large Marge, the ghost trucker, in? Oh, man, that'll drive me crazy. I can Google it, right? Fan. Well, thank you very much, Marge Gates. Any relation to Bill Gates? Have Bill come on in. Yeah, bring Elon too. He'll probably cancel me. Elon, he'll say, I'm not needed. Pack up your stuff and go on get. Go on get. NWA, says Todd Bradshaw. He's now using code from his days in the CIA. Yeah, I'm curious about what old school rap is before it went gangsta. I guess it's too popular and they're making good money on it, says Ted J. I miss stuff that explains other comments. Rockin' around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. That was in a great movie called Windchill. That was the movie you knew the ghost was coming when on the radio, which basically had a dead car battery that had crashed into the snow. Rocking around the Christmas tree came on their radio in their, I don't know, 1976 Caprice or whatever it was supposed to be, with Emily Blunt. She's up there with her co-star. I know his name, just can't call it at the moment. It's a great movie, Windchill. See it. You can get it on Prime Video. It's the first movie I actually bought on Prime Video. I fell in love with Emily Blunt. Emily Grant. Is that like Amy Grant? And it was pretty clear. This was one of George Clooney's first attempts at being an executive producer. Windchill, he's not in the movie. I think it was great. Nietzsche's theory of total occurrence. In other words, after you live your life, according to Nietzsche, you will live the same life exactly the way you have just lived it over and over and over again. It's not Hinduism where you're supposed to work out your karma and make better choices so you don't have all this bad karma, which makes you be reincarnated again. Nietzsche just thinks I will be doing this in another lifetime, but I'll still be Jack and you'll still be you. And we'll keep doing this over and over for all eternity. That was Nietzsche's total occurrence theory. Very well done in the movie Windchill. Very well done. So see Heretic, if you don't mind some hardcore talk about faith topics in the various religions, and you want to see Hugh Grant at his very best with more wrinkles. My goodness, he didn't put any makeup on either, and he hasn't had a facelift, so he's pretty wrinkly now. He's pretty wrinkly. What's going on with you, David Howard? David Howard, you're back. Okay. David Howard is back. I'm glad you are, wherever you may be. 89 watching and 51 likes. Please hit the like button, the notification bell, and if you can, hit the thanks button as Marge, not large Marge, but Marge Gates, hitting it for $10. Very, very thankful to you. What do you wish, Marge Gates? Let's see if I can figure it out here. Rapper's Delight was the best, really? Christari? Oh, I'll probably find them at the Spotify here. I wish I could play some music, but that's why I can't do these great songs you may have never heard series. It's just too risky, because what can happen is in the beginning, it's approved, and then the creators get involved, the owners get involved, and no good for a creator, no good when that happens. No good, ain't no good. So I wish I could do it. I'm playing it off of Spotify if it's a song, so they're getting paid, but it's just not the way it is. And I'm a music license, which is only good in several states. How could I go live and play a song I couldn't, I couldn't, because it wouldn't work in Australia, for example. They'd block it. They'd want it blocked. Too complicated. So great shows that I could do, I can't do. That's just the way it is. Oh well. See, when I was a radio disc jockey, I was working off the license of the station. The license of the station that I was on, I was covered by their license, their music license. And once a year, we would have to write out with a real pen and a log the songs that we were playing, for like a week or two. That was tough time writing down everything you were playing. Buttermilk biscuits, says Tess J. You remind me. I always liked the buttermilk waffles. You remind me of the time Karen and I were coming back from Westchester Medical Center when I was new to getting my defibrillator, or maybe I hadn't even gotten it yet. Recently diagnosed at that point with cardiomyopathy. And we had the GPS on just in case I know the way back, but you don't know about traffic jams, and Alexa does, so she can send you a different way. Sometimes you have to decide whether you want to override Alexa, and it's usually a mistake. But we started talking about biscuits for some reason, like the fact that they don't give you butter at KFC with the biscuits, They used to give you something that was like, God knows, margarine, I guess. But we were talking about biscuits, and all of a sudden, Alexa out of the blue came on and gave us a recipe for biscuits. Everything you do is being listened to. There you go. Well, when I worked at the Christian radio station, Ted, talking about rap music, there was some Christian rap artists, and they had a good message. And, I like it when it's a combination, if it's a positive message, I like it when they rap a little bit and then they sing and show that they have a beautiful singing voice. Has Eminem ever sung? I don't know. I know he said some vile things, and when you've got millions of dollars and you're saying how bad your life is, I understand money doesn't solve all problems, but you are very privileged, and that should come through. Some thankfulness should come through in your songs as well. So thank you, Marge. Thank you so much, and hi to you. I love music from any genre. Even opera, depends on the song. Yeah, there's some good opera songs. There are, and when you're dealing with Pavarotti, for example, or the Blind Gentleman. What's his name? Well, he's so good. When you're talking about that kind of thing, it's phenomenally great. Brenda Noyce saying, yes, Ted, the 50s, the 60s. And WAP, too. There's a joke I could use there, but I won't, because it would be misunderstood. Because, people have thin skins. It's not like the old Dean Martin roast, Sue A loves the oldies. Me too. And the 70s, of course. You don't consider 70s oldies, huh? I thought the cutoff was the 80s started to be known as retro, but as we keep getting older and older, I mean, young people will call 80s music oldies, they will. Elvis, yeah, I've heard of him. Nancy says Eminem does sing, and I really like some of those songs. Okay. Yeah, I haven't paid that much attention. And you're younger than me, aren't you there, Nancy DeMarco? You're younger than me, I think. Love 50s and 60s, says Jane Justice, and also love bluegrass. I often say that. Bluegrass and the blues. I like a little bit of blues. I would tend to like more of the Southern gospel and bluegrass more, I think. Chi-Chi, good afternoon, Jack. In Australia, right? I always forget Chi-Chi. I don't know why. You know that song. Shelly is saying hello to Chi. Ah, yes. Good to have you aboard. This is like our Saturday Worldwide Ramblings crew with a few exceptions. We're missing some people, though, like John Jeffries and Marty, I guess, is still resting. He's trying to get well. Pray for Marty Greco for his pneumonia. He's got the rockin' pneumonia and the boogie woogie flu. That's what he's got going on there. A little bronchitis as well. Burt Bacharach after a little Johnny Mathis. I'm in the mood. Well, I think, Todd Bradshaw, that Todd Rundgren is doing a concert tour now where he's going to do a tribute to the music of Burt Bacharach. Todd Rundgren. Of course, he's a master producer in the studio, and he's got 2 big hits of his own. I don't know if he'll sing them in this current tour. And boy, it's getting cold up here. I got a thin sweatshirt on with my little summer shirt. What is it? 20 degrees, huh? And Johnny Mathis is just phenomenal, Todd. Just phenomenal. 93 and still doing it, and still got a very good voice. Very good voice. You just worry, that he's going to fall or something like that. Snappy dresser. So we cover the heretic. In terms of Elvis chat, I've said many times I am not the kind of Elvis fan that wants to really go to Graceland. I've seen it from video and pictures, and I'm not that kind of Elvis fan that really saw a lot of his movies. I'm just a guy who loved playing his music on the radio. The Wonder of You is one of my very favorites, but I'm obviously very aware of If I Can Dream, and American Trilogy, and Now or Never, and so many others, tons of other hits. I used to love Kentucky Rain. I used to love to play that on the radio. I like how he would reinvent himself when he was starting to fall off the charts, and then he would come back with something like Steamroller or something like that. Good stuff. He knew how to keep it going. It's the same kind of thing I'm doing here on a much smaller scale. I have to keep the views up. So it's very important. Hello, replay crowd. You're my biggest audience, but these are the family here. And sometimes the family joins us in the replay because they were busy. I understand that. So you're always hoping that you get multiple thousand views. And that's a challenge, to come up with stuff and to find new stuff that you believe people would enjoy. But this is the topic that keeps on giving. But Bert, phenomenal songs. But in terms of a 1968 type song that really captured the love era of that time, The Look of Love, Sergio Mendes, and Brazil 66. That's how they were originally billed. Then I think they became in Brazil 88, if I recall. The song Look of Love, both the Dusty Springfield version and the other woman who had an even bigger hit with it, who sang, she didn't get credit. You have to look her up. She didn't get credit on the label, and it's just so hauntingly beautiful. Definitely probably in my top 20 favorite pop hits of all times, The Look of Love. Yeah. Cherish is in there too. And another association song, which I was going to play for you, but I don't want to take the risk. Everything That Touches You, you can play that for yourself on YouTube Music or Spotify or Amazon Music. Everything That Touches You by the Association. So, Jack, he used to live not far from me. 8 miles before EM became famous. I love his music. Know them all. Yeah, I love the older country music, Sue. That's what I started my radio career playing, the great classic artist. But the new stuff was starting to come up in 77, 78. What was that husband and wife duo? I want to say Dave and Sugar. Does that make any sense at all? I don't know. Bill Anderson back then was doing kind of disco-y country, which totally freaked out the owner of the country station I was working for. Should we play this or shouldn't we? Because it's I Can't Wait Any Longer, and it's kind of like Bill Anderson's version of Love to Love You Baby by Donna Summer. What are we doing playing this, you know? And then I got to interview him. Just like a bat out of hell, I was assigned to the Bill Anderson concert in Jamestown, New York, as my very first interview ever. And I didn't know that much about him. I didn't know he had written 500 songs and was a literal icon of country music. I did some fast study, but I'm sure, he could tell I was green as green can be. But he was very nice to me. My first interview. Oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had that on tape. I don't know what happened to it. I'm sure I would have wanted to keep that tape, and I just can't remember what happened. I can't remember that. I interviewed a lot of Christian artists, contemporary Christian artists, not Amy Grant, but a lot of people that were very Kim Boyce and the group Petra and many others, because they would have these big festivals where there'd be like 8 different acts, Very, very enjoyable. The 90s contemporary Christian music was great. It was really great because the 90s in general, I know people like Creed and what have you, and everybody was trying to sound like that guy. But in general, not a big fan. Not a big fan of the pop music that came out in the 90s and the early 2000s. Then it started to get a little better. I noticed. But I couldn't name much except for maybe the banjo guys. And apparently I've lost that. The family, father and sons, I guess. Almost had it. Oh dear. 68 today, Jack, says Nancy DeMarco. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to ask my son the temperature today. I spoke to him briefly, but he was headed back to the depot early because they're kind of in a slow period. He just got back from Cancun, Mexico, where he went to a wedding, somebody in his lady's family. And he said it was very beautiful in Cancun. He took 3 days off total. And now he's back delivering the food, either on an 18-wheeler or sometimes even a van. It goes all the way down. Natural gas trucks, that's a little scary, those natural gas trucks. Got to be careful. It's like those Lear jets. You got to be careful. So I'm very happy to see the ceremony with all the kids. President Trump signed the executive order to protect women in sports and girls and their privacy in the locker room. And he's going to be talking to the Olympic Committee. He's going to be talking to them because I know there's this snobbish British guy or something. Oh, no, this is our policy. We've been dealing with this for years. Remember the last Olympics when the young boxer quit like in 40 seconds? She'd never been punched that hard by a guy. He was really a guy, and it was all written off by this British judge or maybe the actual guy that, the head guy involved in the Olympic Committee, founder, whatever. I don't know what he is, but he just brushed it off. Well, he's not going to brush Donald Trump off, and he's not going to brush off losing a whole lot of money. The president will get his attention, because Trump doesn't want that to happen again. But anyway, all the kids were around and they were kind of stepped back, and he said, "Why don't you come around me for this?" And he noticed that the Secret Service all of a sudden said, "I think we could trust these kids. I think we could trust." Yeah, 7, 8, 10, 12-year olds coming to surround the president. And I think if we can't trust them, we're really in trouble. Ah, dear, dear, dear. So what a heck of a 2 weeks, huh? This whole thing with the Gaza Strip. um, Trump is going to be Trump, and he realizes that it's a rubble. Who can live in a rubble? It's the same thing with the Ukraine, exact same thing with the Ukraine in terms of the rubble part, And he knows what's going to happen. Hamas will come back in and be a threat to Israel again. So you can't have the people that were overtaken by Hamas. You can't have them deciding. What future Gaza is going to look at. Many of them were very sympathetic to Hamas. But as I say in the promo video, they had to be. They had to be, or they'd be shot in the head, that kind of thing. So Trump wants it to be a peaceful place where beautiful place. And he expects it's funny because, people said, well, he just said, make America great again, America first and all this. And now he's talking about Gaza and Greenland and the Panama Canal. But there's a method to what seems to be madness. There's a method to his strategy. So the liberal left, the woke people are going crazy. What do you mean you're not going to fund transgender affirming surgeries in Guatemala? What do you mean no transgender comics for Serbia? Caroline Levitt, the press secretary, who is wonderful, does a really good job reading off the whole list and talking about this. We lost our mind, and we've got these woke congresswomen and men from places like Michigan, and we've got the zany AOC from Brooklyn, New York, trying to say she's the smart one and Elon Musk is stupid. I don't think so. So they're just, they're hemorrhaging. They don't know what to do, and they finally realized putting Chuck E. Cheese Schumer out there to explain to you that you're the guacamole you're going to use for the Super Bowl. They use avocados. And while he's saying all that, Trump works something out with Mexico, and then he works something out with Canada, temporary deals, and more to come, and he'll do the same with China. And then he'll start working on President Putin and this whole thing in the Ukraine. After 4 years of I have to say it, I have to be honest, to me, a very evil man, Joseph R. Biden, and what he did to this country and how he got his money and all that. After 4 years of him as president, it is such a refreshing change. But when you have Trump in the driver's seat, put your seatbelt on, because there's going to be twists and turns you're not expecting. That's just what he does. And then he saves the day, Oh, the tariffs that you thought were going to just make prices go high and stay high. Actually, no, it was just what he does. It's just what he uses, and he'll put it in effect. So you gotta allow a period of time when it looks like he made a bad decision, but then things tend to change. So that's enough politics. We didn't freeze, did we? Somebody say something. I get nervous when it seems to have stopped, because I remember nice is what I see as the last thing from Test J. Let me just see here. Somebody type. If we're frozen, I won't go too much longer, because it's just our Wednesday night little get together, and we've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. First, let me check inbox. Rascal Baby sent me something from Facebook. Yeah, this is another example of Pastor Bob Joyce next to Vernon Presley. And don't they look alike? Don't they look alike? Absolutely right. Now let me go to the channel. No, not that one. Did I? Yeah. All right. Now let me see. Why aren't I seeing? Let me go to live. It doesn't look like we're live anymore. Are we gone? Why aren't I seeing when I go to live? Why? Oh, there it is. Duh, right in front of me. Oh, I guess I was expecting a bigger red live. So let me go to that. Turn it down, the volume down. They're playing a spot, which usually happens. You are still live. See, I think my chat froze. Why does that happen? We're not even into 2 hours here. Yes. So now I see the new comments. Lynn Redgrave is here. You're still here. Thank God, because I'm not ready to meet Jesus yet. There are things I feel I need to do to show my appreciation for grace that has been absolutely amazing. Tess J says, Jack, me and Todd Bradshaw were just loving a couple of beautiful old songs. Well, cool. And which songs were they? Shelley is trying to get Marge to say something. Oh, you are Rascal Baby, Marge. I see. You got a little picture there, too. Try to make that bigger later. You have long hair. That's me, Jack. Okay. And here's Jeanette Fair, who was commenting in our promo video. I'm still staying away from net skirts, net skirts. Hello there. How are you? Isn't that funny? My chat froze again, which means I'm going to have a hard time pulling the live down now, most likely, when it comes. So you'll keep chatting. I know you will. Katina Swatsworth is here. I know she sometimes goes to church on Wednesday. So welcome. Midweek service is over now. How are you, Katina? What's going on with you? Good night, Brenda, and happy birthday. Seatbelt and a crash helmet. For what? I know some people, you see them on the road, They don't want to wait anymore. They feel they got just enough time to get out in front of you. And if you have to apply the brakes, too bad. Too bad. They're in a hurry to go nowhere in their life. Oh yeah, Chuck Schumer, Shelley. What a dingleberry. What a dingleberry. So what songs are we talking about? Jeanette is from North Dakota. What's the temperature there? What's the temperature there? Laura from Long Island, New York, but in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh, I see. Yeah. Nancy DeMarco. I did used to live in Long Island, the Guyland. She had a multi-million-dollar mansion there. Retina Swatsworth, thank you. Edward Givens. Hello, all from Oklahoma. Hi, Edward Givens. I've been talking so much, I think I'll go for a cough drop. Happy birthday, Nancy. Yes, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fancy Nancy. Happy birthday to you. I'm still not finding the titles of these songs. It makes me sob and swoon hearing the lyrics in my head. like a song like I Only Have Eyes for You. That does that. Yes, happy birthday, Nancy. What's the name of the song here? Favorite best song of all time is One in a Million by Larry Graham, a one-hit wonder. Oh, I used to play that song. What a beautiful voice he has, right? Or had. I've lost all touch. But that one hit, if you're only going to have one hit, make it a great one like that. A one in a million, you. Yeah, I don't want to. Just afraid. I'm now shy to mention even lyrics. Precious and Few by Climax. Yeah. Did they morph into the Climax Blues Band? I'm not sure that that's true, but I do know that what's his name, the lead singer of Climax, who sang Precious and Few, is the same guy. What's his name? Jimmy? Trying to remember. In the 60s, he was in a group called The Outsiders, and they sang Time Won't Let Me, Time Won't Let Me, Time Won't Let Me, Let Me, Let Me. That's the same guy who sang Precious and Few. Love Precious and Few. I love when he has to go to full voice at the end. Greg Hines' birthday coming up in the lovely month of May. Oh, yes. I don't want to rush my life away, but I am so glad January's gone. When you live in the East Coast, you understand. If you live in a place far worse than the Hudson Valley that got many feet of snow, oh, it's beyond my plausibility. Yes, Jody Smith, Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum, another one-hit wonder. He has a foolish lyric in there that was so when the Christian band came along in the 90s and decided to redo that song, Spirit in the Sky, they made the correction. When Norman Greenbaum, in that great song that's been in a lot of movies, says, I've never been a sinner. I never sinned. I got a friend in Jesus. And that's not good theology. We sin every day once we know Jesus. It's that bad. We forget. As Pastor John Torres says, we forget and have to be reminded all the time, every day. Sin every day. Everybody sins every day. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Oh, not me. Not me. I'm serious about my faith. You sin every day. But I love that song, Ted Richards. I'm glad I scrolled back to see that. Hi, Katina. Prayers for your daughter and a full recovery. Oh, dear. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Keep praying for my daughter. Her breathing is improving, and she doesn't need oxygen as much. Huh, that's good news. She's so young. This hasn't happened since she had Lyme disease. Thank you, God. Huh. All right, pray for her daughter then, Katina's daughter. Put her name up on the screen. I'm always afraid I'm going to mispronounce it when I say it. We were socked in for 6 days, 5 inches. Socked you in for 6 days. We had 5 inches of snow. We were out the next day. We're going to have maybe 3 inches of snow starting maybe around 5 in the morning. Of course, I can't look out the window right now. I don't have the portion that I could look out available to me right now. It's covered up, and so it could be snowing right now. Yes, God bless her and you. Let me go back to the stream to see what the count is since my stream. 81 watching and 54 likes. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button, the notification bell, because we can pop on to any time. Anytime, if there's a breaking story, I may be motivated to pop on if I feel I have something to contribute, especially if it's a Bob Joyce story or something like that, but sometimes other stories as well. So, turn those on. I'm surprised we're getting such a nice, the difference between coming on at 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock as we did a few Thursdays ago, is night and day. This is like our regular worldwide ramblings type thing going on here in our Bob Joyce Elvis chat. Feel free to talk about Bob Joyce and Elvis. I do a little content in the beginning. You can watch the replay right here. If you don't see the thanks button in the replay, you can find it in another recent video. And it all goes into the same pot for my birthday, which is March 21st, when I will turn 69 years old. 69 years old on March 21st. And yeah, I like the country music too. So let me go back to the end of this chat here now. Oh, my chat froze, yours didn't. Why these things happen, I'm not sure. But let's go here, and then I can see the more recent comments. Jody Smith says, exactly 100%. 100% pure sugar. They let you know that when you take the Hershey Park tour. They let you know it's pure sugar in that Hershey bar. Completely healthy for you. Thank you, Katina. God bless you. God bless your daughter. I'll pray for her tonight during my nighttime prayers. Pray for Marty Greco as well, who has pneumonia. And pray for Brenda and so many needs here. Oh, no way. I'd walk back to California. What are you, in Mexico at San Diego? What's going on here? Shelly always has to top you and say, oh, you got 2.5 feet out. Well, we got 3 feet up here in Canada. I know you did have a lot of snow, Shelly. I know you did. I know you did. Living on a prayer. Oh, okay, Shelly. I do like it. I do like it. I like that certain sound they make. Like you hear it right away in the intro. I like that. It's a good song. Is it my favorite Bon Jovi song? The joke is, the girls like Bon Jovi, the real men like the boss, Bruce Springsteen. But he's a liberal Democrat, so I mean, Born in the USA is not a patriotic song. Listen to the lyrics. It's not meant to be. Happy, happy birthday, Nancy. And happy Valentine's Day, too, which is coming up. I can't even open up a cough drop here. I hold it up and, yeah, there it is. Now I see myself holding it. There's a delay when I watch myself, if that makes any sense. Holmes? Sherlock Holmes? Is that a song? Runaway, I think, is my favorite Bon Jovi song. I think so. I used to play that a lot on the radio. When I say on the radio, I mean on my radio show. Great talk up. Great talk up. Living on a prayer is good, though. Back to the bottom of the list. Yes, they are both liberals. Yeah, Bon Jovi. But, Bon Jovi, he does this wonderful thing, Bon Jovi, where he has these places for the homeless to eat. They don't pay anything for it. People donate to the Bon Jovi cause, and they serve really nice meals, too. So God bless John Bon Jovi for doing that. He's probably a liberal, not a woke guy, right? I hope. I can't see anybody. This woman who's threatening violence in the streets. She looks like she's 21 years old. I don't know what her name is, the congresswoman. She's black. She's got a nice face, and she wears a black long wig. And I think, she's threatening violence against everybody from Elon Musk. You're getting real close there, sweetheart. They really like me saying that word, right? You're getting real close to stepping over the line. If you do that with the president of the United States, you'll be seeing the Secret Service at your door. And by the way, Phil from New Jersey, governor, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm harboring a fugitive. Try and come and get her, you know? That's a felony. That's a felony. And the doo-doo's gonna hit the fan here because Tom Homan, I used to say Holman, I know. Tom Homan don't play. He don't play. And yes, some local wacko woke judges will try to block it and stuff like that. But the law is the law. The law is the law. Just because Joe Biden disregarded and even tried to disregard the ruling of the Supreme Court with his student loans. How many students did they get? They get their loans paid off? I never really found out the outcome of that. That's something to look at. Edward Givens says, it's great that Bob Joyce is partnered with George Magazine and doing his service again this year on a slightly bigger stage in Arkansas. I mean, how many more seats would you say there are? Horner Hall Theater had about 1,000, I think. And the shot I saw of it that I think Nancy took, it wasn't completely full, as said. It was almost full. About 800 people, 700 people, something like 800 people. And he really comes alive in a big crowd. It's like he's worked big crowds before or something. I don't know. We'll talk more about the George Magazine event on Saturday night. On Saturday night, we'll talk more about it. Maybe they'll have completed the list more than is completed so far. But we'll talk about it Saturday night. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I'm talking about Tom. Yeah, I met Isaac Hayes. I did. I met him back in the parking lot after the Merv Griffin show. I didn't get to see the show. I didn't get tickets to that Merv Griffin. I've seen many Merv Griffins back in the day on Hollywood and Vine. Well, he wasn't on Hollywood and Vine. He was on Vine Street, down the ways from Hollywood Boulevard. But I got to have a little conversation with Isaac Hayes. Little Justin is full of himself. Well, so you must be younger, Tess J. If you're talking about Justin Timberlake, ain't nothing little about Justin Timberlake. Remember that song about the box? Why did I say that, Tess J? I don't know. Sometimes I surprise myself, but you know, he ain't he's blessed. He's blessed. Why I'm saying this, I do not know. Reminds me of Dark Shadows when they went back to 1795. Justin Trudeau, well, good-looking chap, but I have no idea about that. But he's going away, right? He's been dethroned, and what's his end date? You do things so weird in Canada. We can't keep up. I see. I thought you were talking about Justin Timberlake, trying to say that, you know, that I can't say any of the things that are coming to mind. You love Justin Timberlake. I bet you do. I'm thinking you would give him a hug. I'm thinking you would give him a squeeze. Justin Castro. Some call Trudeau. Oh, there's a lot of lately I get. Let's see. Jim Morrison and Bob Joyce have never been in the same room. That kind of stuff. Oh, dear. Well, we've had a lot of fun here on this Wednesday night, haven't we? And I don't want to leave, but I do need to go wash my dishes. You know, I got to go to the next side of the duplex, the other side of the duplex, and do my dishes, because that's my job. Karen cooks, I do the dishes, and check on her and make sure she's okay. If Jesus said it was okay, I'd give Justin Timberlake anything he wanted. Yes. Us men have that same problem, you know. Anything for you, sweetie. Anything for you, sweetie. Oh, yes. You want to pick up my wallet and take out what you need. If you're really in love, you find that enjoyable. Gotta edit myself in real time. Help me there, my buddy Todd from Todd the musician. Marge Gates is smiling. She knows what's going through my head. I'm a guy, right? I'm a guy. Yeah, good friends with Jimmy Fallon. Good friends with Jimmy Fallon, that Justin Timberlake. A little trouble there. You know, it can easily happen that you get a DWI or a DUI because you have a drink and maybe it was made a little too strong and you shouldn't have had it. They used to say one for the road back when we were kids. I'm talking about if you're my age, you know, one for the road, or would you like a nightcap? And then you're going to get in an automobile. And of course, people do that every time they go to Texas Roadhouse, but they eat with it and they hope to God they're safe, you know. Thank you, Jane Justice. I love you. I say good night to everyone, and may we all have joy in the morning. That was the name of my first contemporary Christian music show in 1986 on the very station where I was Jackie London in the overnight. I went on as Jack Willard, and I took over the contemporary Christian music show Joy in the Morning from 6 to 9 a.m. And I had an audience. I had an audience, yeah. And they would tell me how much I sound like the guy on overnights. And then on overnights, I'd get a call 3 in the morning and say, "There's this guy on Sunday morning, 6 to 9," because I didn't do Saturday overnights, you know. There's this guy sounds just like you. I swear he sounds just like you. I just chuckled. I didn't tell them when they gave me the assignment, when I begged for the assignment to host Joy in the Morning when the other guy was leaving, going to Bible school. I didn't tell him I was not going on as Jackie London. I used my own name. I was not going to do it. And they were fine with it. Is that the conservative person, Test J? He doesn't like Trump either, right? I call him the Canadian Trump, really. Does anybody really like Trump over there, or are they all mad at him saying, well, what's this 51st state thing, you know? John Jeffries, is he here? He is. John, we thought that you were abducted and that they were holding you for ransom, but they weren't telling us how much you cost to get you free. You know, we wondered. We wondered if you were blindfolded in a tunnel. We didn't know what to think. You know, we just hoped that they were taking care of you if you were captive. Have you been okay, John Jeffries? You came on at the tail end here. Our Wednesday night Elvis chat has been very successful. Haven't talked that much about Elvis or Bob Joyce, but a little bit. We'll talk more on Saturday night about the big event coming to Hot Springs in August of this year, of course. We'll do that. So what else has been going on? By the way, you're probably going to be able to chat after I try to shut this down because it's not going to let me. When my chat freezes, that means I have a hard time taking the show into the replay mode. It can take as much as 15, 20 minutes or what have you. And I give up because I got dishes to do. And then I check to see, and eventually the show is no longer live. I don't know why this happens. The snow kept coming about 2 hours away from me up in Gravenhurst, Ontario. That sounds like a scary place. Should we film a horror movie there, Shelley, in Gravenhurst? I think we should do it. And I think maybe, again, I will use Hugh Grant because he was so good in Heretic. Watch The Heretic as long as you can handle some questionable comments about faith in general, because it's heavy. It's a heavier movie than I thought. It's a heavier movie. He definitely should get a Golden Globe nomination, and I'm hoping an Oscar. Good night, everyone, and God bless. When you said God bless, it reminded me of the last thing Red Skelton used to say on his variety show. What a talent he was. I wonder if he was really a nice guy. It's terrible when you find out they weren't nice. You know, it's terrible when you find out someone like Arthur Godfrey I was almost going to use something that begins with a P and ends with a K. It's terrible. He was very rude to Dan Ingram, who adored him and was already on WABC and a fairly well-known disc jockey when he said he saw Arthur Godfrey getting on an elevator and he ran to catch up with him and said, Mr. Godfrey, I just want to tell you, I'm a big fan. You've been a real inspiration to my career and what have you. And as the elevator door was closing, he said to the legendary Dan Ingram, blank you. You'll never forget that. John Jeffries is talking to Shelley. Shelley Belly. Her last name is Belly. Not a lot of people know that. I grew up watching Commander Tom. Commander Tom. I remember Diver Dan, and I remember the guy that had a jetpack and flew around. I remember him vaguely. I never see that anywhere. I never see Diver Dan anywhere. Some network, I don't think it's MeTV, but some network is showing these shows. They're showing old Soupy Sales shows and everything. Soupy Sales on WNBC radio, the later part of his career, wasn't happy when he found out that they weren't going to give him a raise or that they weren't going to re-sign his contract and physically had to be carried out of the studio. He didn't curse or anything. He was more of a professional than that. But was it him or Sandy Beckett that thought that the camera, Sandy Becker, who thought the camera was off and they had not gone to commercial yet? And this was back in the early 60s or whatever. Yeah, they had just finished the show, but his mic was still live as they were running the credits or whatever. Kids show. And he said, well, that ought to keep the little bastards happy for another day. Oh boy. Someday we'll have to talk all about bloopers. I hope you're doing well, John Jeffries. I hope you're doing well. John Jeffries. Oh my goodness. My goodness. TCB, taking care of business, Jack. And he hits the thanks button for $19.99. Thank you so much. We had a rough month last month, although the Cash App people lifted me up. My friend Todd and Selena M, for example. And also Jane Justice. Thank you, Jane Justice, and others. Thank you for hitting the thanks button. We're working on what will be my birthday, March 21st. We're working on that payment now for the thanks button. And this month, in fact, I think on the 19th, I got to go for my taxes, and I got to pay taxes on those tips from 2024, which I didn't properly prepare for, like I do prepare for my federal tax on my pension and my Social Security. The Flintstones meet the Flintstones. Have a yabba dabba doo time. Dabba doo time. Yeah. Shelley has a crush or had a crush on Barney Rubble. Thank you so much, John Jeffries. I appreciate it very, very much. It's very encouraging to me. Taxes is a crime. No tax on, I don't want to mispronounce this. No tax on tips. No tax on tips. If you go to that kind of bar that only serves juice, there'll still be a tax there. You know what I'm saying? I had a crush on Gizmo. I've heard of Gizmo, but I don't know what Gizmo is. Oh, I've had major crushes on TV people and movie people. The first one probably was Marlo Thomas as that girl, quickly followed by a major in-love crush with Chrissy McNichol from Family was her first thing that she did. And then... let's see. Gazoo. Trump is seriously trying to get rid of the IRS and create the ERS. I think he meant that in conjunction with the IRS. But you may be right, Tess J. I say when you get Trump, you're going to get the unexpected sometimes, and not everything he wants to do, he can do, and some of it's going to be Congress, They want to kind of make this thing about the protection and for females in sports and privacy in the locker room. Mike, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, or another congressman wants to get this into legislation so a future president couldn't change it so easily, but we don't have to worry. J.D. Vance is the next president of the United States. That's how I feel today. I really want Ron DeSantis, but you can't take it away from J.D. He's been a powerhouse. Yes, the little green guy with the helmet who always zoomed around, LOL, got a kick out of him. That was Gazoo? I don't think I saw that. It's not ringing my bell. Hey, at John Jeffries, is that your handle there? Just busy. I understand you're still working, right? You're still out there taking what they're giving because you're working for a living. Daffy Duck. Well, then you really loved Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc did Bugs Bunny. He did Daffy Duck. When he would go on the Mike Douglas show, if anybody remembers the Mike Douglas show, first from Philadelphia and then from Hollywood, where I saw a taping of Mike Douglas at the television, CBS Television City in Hollywood. Mel Blanc did a whole bunch of voices. Probably did Roadrunner. Probably did. He did. Yeah. Mel Blanc. He was a real talent. He was also rescuing Polly Purebred. This sounds a little familiar. I watched Dudley Do-Right, huh? Dudley Do-Right, huh? Oh, yeah, I liked him. Dudley Do-Right. That could have been Mel Blanc. I'm not sure now. Dudley Do-Right was a Canadian Mountie, right? And I loved him. I enjoyed it back then. I've forgotten most of it. But I did love it. Heard a YouTube weather guy said that New England may have snow with 2 feet of snow in a week to 10 days. Oh, those long-range forecasts, though, Commander Tom and Dust Mop. Is this a Canadian thing? I was there for 6 months. I did watch television. Oh, Foghorn Leghorn. Wonderful. Yeah, loved him a lot. That was like W.C. Fields' imitation, right? Foghorn Leghorn. I think so. The Rooster, and with his sidekick, Foghorn Leghorn's sidekick. Anybody got that? He was terrific. He was like a vaudevillian comedian with his humor. Very well done and very well ripped off from, I think, W.C. Fields, as I recall. J.D. and Usha, yeah, 2028. Well, I would say J.D. and Tulsi 2028. I think she's going to make it, right? I think she's going to squeeze by. I hope so. I love my Tulsi. Do. And what they've done to her, what Joseph Biden did in his Justice Department, and Christopher Wray putting her on the watch list here, her and her husband. Here she is, a lieutenant colonel in the reserves and served in the military for so long. Shame on you people. Shame. I know it's not, I'm changing it to that. Good night, Patrick Wilburn. Hey, Patrick, I'm glad you stopped by. I really, really am. I appreciate that so much. And all our other people too, John Jeffries. I mean, my goodness, I didn't expect to go 2 hours and 20 minutes, but I got to respect when people come on and they need their time to visit, These are people like John that have been with me for quite a while now, and just about everybody else here. As well. So thank you for those who hit the thanks button. And Go back here. Yeah, feel free to send me stuff like Rascal Baby did. Send me pictures and things, and maybe I'll use them, especially if you belong to those Facebook groups, because I don't belong to any and I miss stuff. So thank you again for Todd Bradshaw hitting the Cash App for $20, Nancy DeMarco hitting the Cash App, Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56, media lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. Nancy hitting it for 777. I appreciate that so much. You have no idea. You have no idea, as Paul Tuttle used to say right here in Orange County, New York, at Orange County Choppers. He now lives in Clearwater, Florida, and has a nice restaurant, and I think he's still got the motorcycles too. And his son, Paul Jr., designs from Montgomery, New York. The TV show still airs on some obscure network, Orange County Choppers, if you want to see it. But we saw them appear here in Montgomery and enjoyed that show very, very much, and was so proud that it was done right here in Orange County in Montgomery, New York. And then eventually in the town of Newburgh, their new facility. I don't know what they're doing with that building now, the old Orange County Choppers building. Yes. So that's the story, Jerry. You'll probably be able to keep talking because when I end this stream, it's still, I'm not going to be able to pull it down very easily. When my chat freezes, not your chat, but my chat, and I have to go to a replay of what you're seeing with a 4-second delay for me. Don't forget prayers for Marty and Katina's daughter. Yes, absolutely. And you can always post in the replay more prayer requests in the replay, which will be available soon. I always pray the Lord's Prayer before bed, Shelley. I'm glad you said that. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Let me go back to 81 still watching. Amazing. 54. Thank you so much. Your encouragement to me. I've been feeling down lately. I've been feeling down because the views have been down. And as I say, the month of February was the lowest since March of 2024. And I'm saying, oh boy, I'm just trying to pay my credit cards and what have you and not use them, and not have my rating go into the proverbial sewer. And, I'm living a fairly chaste life here. Are you watching Luke Evans, Aisha? She's the mystery woman. She's being nice, whoever she is. So I'm just going to call her Murray Swartz from now on. Murray Swartz. So let's see if we can end the stream. I'm going to say it's going to be a while. So keep chatting away if that happens. God bless you. Saturday night, Worldwide Ramblings at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Talk more about the big event coming to Hot Springs and much more Saturday night. We'll probably do a pre-recorded video before that, and who knows, we can pop on at any time. I appreciate you. Thanks for reassuring me. I appreciate it. I appreciate your viewership. Good night. What a surprise. So you're going to be able to keep chatting. Let's see. It says end stream. Let's see. Now.